Hey YouTube friends, Dustin Bellinger here. I am so past overdue to really show some extensive pickups videos, so gonna try and go through some stuff. This is kind of a couple weeks worth that have piled up here that I haven't shown, at least on the channel. So starting off with some TTMs. Got one here from Les Lancaster from the 89 Cubs team that won the division. Lost to the Giants in the NLCS. And this here is Ty Griffin. So this one's kind of nostalgic for me. I got into collecting in 89 and with baseball. I bought a lot of Donruss that year, but I remember getting this card in a pack and seeing other people with it. And, my favorite team was the Cub, and this 91 or this number one draft pick thing just made me think, oh man, guys got to be a really big deal. Because, football and basketball, your number one draft picks, you're playing right away. And I didn't really quite understand just how the minor system worked in baseball to the same degree. And so it's like I remember watching, trying to figure out why he wasn't playing, what he was doing when I'd watch games on WGN. Because, I was like, sure that, man, this card should be really valuable because he must be a big star. And he never even really got to the majors. So I just thought, it would be cool to have the autograph just kind of as a memory of that time. And this here's former Husker. Sent this via Giant spring training. Got it back just here recently. Tony Watson. This is Gypsy Queen. Has him with the Pirates on this one. This one was numbered to 50 even, so I was a little brave on that one, sending that one off to get it signed, and glad that one came back. So got him. He's one of the current Huskers. He never really signed anything in like rookie products and stuff when he came up, so it wasn't a thing where you could find autos of him on eBay and stuff. So I was trying to pick him up. So this here is some stuff for the former Husker PC. Good transition after the Tony Watson autograph. Stan Bonson came up with the Yankees, played with some other teams, had a fairly long career, from the late 60s to early 80s. Good long career. And Alex Gordon, of course, this is a press proof, numbered to 299. Couple of I'll show this one. Jabba Chamberlain relic. I think I might even have one of these already, but I'm a sucker for when I see it, and I needed something to add on, just try and save some shipping, and I saw that in there. I'm like, oh, pick that up. So then Adam Stern is the Braves. Yeah, and he early 2000s did not have a long major league career at all. Another guy that just really kind of just got a bit of a cup of coffee is all in the majors. Jamal Strong. But both those I did not have autos for them. And so then let's get into some of the graded stuff. For the 61 set, picked up Johnny Evers, PSA 8. I haven't made much progress on this set at all this year, so but have tried to pick up a few, try and keep working on that. And then here I've got 1960 Luis Aparicio, it's all-star card, and a PSA 7, really nice looking card. It was 1961 or 60 all-star cards were really nice looking that year. And another horizontal card, 1956 Topps Nellie Fox. Awesome Hall of Famer. PSA 2. Got plenty of issues, but hey, 56 Topps. Such a great set. Alright. Then, a few things for the Clemente collection. I picked up this here. These are 66 rub-offs. And this one is really tough to come by, and this is about as rough as it gets, because we're miscut clear over here, and we've got a hole right there you can see. Yep. See it? That's not acetate, that's a freaking hole. But it is what it is. I didn't have it. I don't know. It's like, those are so tough to get. It's really hard to find them in anything approaching decent condition without paying, one of your nuts to acquire one. And so this here is 1963 Buck Blasters, which has Clemente here, along with Smokey Burgess, Dick Stewart, and Bob Skinner. And here's the biggest one from the Clemente collection, 1960 Topps. Been trying to get one of these for a while. This was on my video I did for Mike O about 5 cards I wanted to acquire this year. This is the first one of those 5 that I've acquired. It leaves me with, just for Clemente's basic set from, rookie in 55 to the 73 Topps, which is all Topps cards except for the 63 Fleer. I've got everything except for his rookie card, the 55 Topps, and the 63 Topps now. And the 63 Topps is going to be really tough to get in anything that's approaching decent collection condition. I mean, a card like in this type of condition for 63 Topps still goes $30-$40 in the 63, because it's one of the later series, and those were short printed. In the 63 Topps, it's like if you got cards from series 1, 2, and 3, they're easy to get. There was a lot of production that year. 62 had been a great year for Topps as far as sales, and so they expected 63 to be really great as well. And so like this card right here is from 63 Topps. You can pick this one up all day on eBay in a variety of conditions. There's like you'll find 100 listings on there for maybe a dozen of his 63 base card, because it's like series 1 through 3 Topps was racking out the production, expecting to sell lots of cards, because 62 they had, following Maris and Mantle in 61, had created a lot of hype and things around baseball, and lots of goodwill. Kids were excited about it, so they were buying baseball cards like crazy in 62. 63, they're expecting them to sell and they're not selling near as well. And so about halfway through the production run, Topps is like, screw this noise. We're not selling cards. Cut back the production on these later sets so that people got to buy. We'll keep buying the series 1 through 3 that we produce so much of. And so the production on 4, 5, and 6 on those series is really low. Now, normally, if you collect Topps in like that time frame, the 60s, you're used to the last series, which, would come around, late in the year, around the World Series time. Kids just aren't buying baseball cards. They're back in school, and, football would be getting going. And so kids just weren't focused on baseball. You're used to that last series being hard to get, but 63, it is half the set that is really tough. It's because series 4 and 5 are almost as rare as that last series 6 is. So it's really brutal tough to get any cards. And of course, Clemente happens to be, I'm not sure, he's either in series 4 or 5, I'm not sure, but he makes that cut into the later series, and so it's just brutal tough to get his 63, but I'll end up getting it here soon in the next couple of months. It's not going to be a super beautiful card, but it'll get me one step closer, and then I've got to start looking at picking up that rookie card, which that's going to be $300 to $400 probably just to get a PSA 1. So is what it is there. Anyway, I rambled long enough about that. I got a couple more to show you. I got one big ass slab here. This is a 1971 Tickerton Willie Mays. Now, back at this time period, like Tickerton was kind of like your ticket master for the Giants and a few other baseball clubs, where they were the official licensed ticket broker. They were the company you went through to buy your tickets. And so they would do these type of advertising pieces like every week or so often. They created sets of, I think, 10 for each of the teams that they sold tickets for. And so this one here is the Mays. I had never seen one of these ever before, so I was like, man, I just got to pick it up. And then it's weird. As soon as I bought it, there's a new auction that started up, and I happen to see there's one that's in a PSA 8 of one of these that's up for sale in that auction now. And I'm just like, well, that's weird that, you go all this time and never see one and then see two, one right after the other. I'm going to be curious to see what that 8 sells for compared to what I paid for this 3.5. It's like, I'm hoping that 8 goes for a lot, because that would make me feel better. Because if it barely goes for more than I paid for my 3.5, then I'll feel a little bad that, oh, well, maybe I overpaid. But the thing is, it's like, you just don't see things like this sometimes, and so it's really tough to try and determine what's the fair price to bid on something like that when there's not really any recent past sales. And even if there are past sales on something like this, if it's not the same grade, then it's really tough to know, well, did that person pay a fair price? Did they overpay? Did they get a steal because nobody knew what it was? It's really tough to judge on rare items like that. Okay, moving on here. A couple of things I picked up for the Hall of Fame collection. I got 2 guys that I did not have cards from their playing days. Got this one here is a strip card of George Sisler. Trying to remember, I think this was 1925. The year on this card. Very cool. One that's going to get... I actually ended up buying a lot of 2 of these cards. And then I did a Raz in one of my Facebook groups and sold the second one. So looks like I'm going to be sending the one I got and the one that I sold in the Raz. I'm going to send it off to PSA for Snodzilla Pat. He won that, and so we'll send those off to PSA the next time I get a submission done. Hopefully, cross fingers. I've been waiting on a bulk submission since November. Every day I wake up, I'm like, today's the day. I'm going to get the email that says, hey, your cards have been graded, getting ready to ship. Every day I go to bed and I'm like, how did it not happen today? It's got to happen tomorrow. And repeat that process again and again. Anyway, okay. One more card here to show you. We're going long again. Sorry, that's what happens when I don't do pickups for a while. And then I get off on some tangents. I got T206, Piedmont back, 150 subjects. So this would have been the very first series of T206 from that 1909 time frame. This is Vic Willis, Hall of Famer with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Pictured here is a member of the Pirates. This is his portrait. Got another card in the T206 set that shows him with a bat. PSA 1, because we're from 3 rounded corners and 1 missing corner. Got a nice crease there, but Hall of Famer, playing days card. Checking it off the list. Got just over about 40 some left to go. All of them 19th century and pre-war players. So getting to a point where it's really tough to try and pick up cards for guys that I don't have. If they're not hard to find, it's just expensive to get them. But kind of trying this year, it's like gonna be kind of focused and try and really work on getting that number down. At least get just about everybody that I can that's, say, under $100 if it's possible to acquire something of them. I want to get pretty close to having everybody. And then it's like I got to start working on the guys that are going to cost, $100 plus or more. In some cases, much more. But we'll work on that when we get there. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me. I know this was long. Hope you enjoyed the stuff. I will talk to you all later. Take care.